Hello, everyone. I just wanted to talk about how I create all sorts of emotion in people. Tonight, I've created the emotions of empowerment and love and peace and happiness. But sometimes, because I can pick up on emotions, like the situation that just happened now, I feel the tension in the air, and I wonder if it's directed towards me, and it's not always. So I guess I wanted to go live to talk tonight about how, if you're empathic, sometimes it just seems like you can feel all this craziness going on around you, and it feels like it's directed towards you. And it reminds me of when I was very young in high school, and I could tell certain people's insecurities and disapproval and displeasure in my presence and my activities. And the thing of it is I got older and became too. Hold on, let me put this code in. Let's see if I can get in my own day. Give me a second. Okay, I got my gate open. Sometimes these people, I would pick up on different emotions that they were feeling, and I would immediately internalize it. So a lot of times, if you're empathic, you may be in situations where you're picking up on tensions that were either pre-existing or under the surface, and you will internalize them, feeling as though those people are feeling that towards you. But that's not always the truth. A lot of times, people are just feeling their range of emotions, and you're picking up on it, and it actually has nothing to do with you other than you are sensitive to the vibration. So sometimes you may be uncomfortable, or you may feel undesire. You may feel like people don't want you around, or they're angry with you, or you may feel like you've offended someone, something like that. And a lot of times that actually isn't have anything at all to do with you. It's just you're picking up on something that was either pre-existing. In the case of what just happened now, like I had this short interaction with this person, and I really thought that there was something I had done, and so I'm picking up on this vibe, and I swear you just rolled your eyes at me. And she's like, I didn't roll my eyes. This is what an eye roll looks like. She's like, I didn't roll my eyes at you. I'm like, but I could feel it. So come to find out, the place that I was at, like they had just had somebody who was totally rude and disruptive in there. And so what they did was deal with their situation, and I walked in right on the heels, not knowing what was going on. But because I'm in tune the way I am, I felt the energy of it. And in feeling the energy of it, when I dealt with what I thought I needed to say and asked the questions, because if I did something to offend that person, I wanted to make it right and see, well, what had I done and how can I fix this? But it was not mine. It had actually nothing to do with me. What had happened was somebody else went in, and they were disruptive and they were rude and completely out of line, and I just happened to be walking into the energy of it. And so I thought about how earlier tonight I ended up at an open mic, and it was perfect because the timing was perfect. And the conversation was perfect prior to my getting there, prior to my taking the stage. I got there just in time to be able to take the stage. And then what led up to it was perfect. And so I was able to speak a lot of words and explain some of my experiences that really touched a lot of people. And then after that, I went to a karaoke place and I got to sing. And it was awesome. I sang so many songs and it was so uplifting, not only to me, but to the other people that were listening. And then I topped my night off going to have one cocktail at this other spot nearby my home, and I walked into this tense situation, unaware of what I walked into, and I immediately took the opportunity to internalize the energy that I felt. And so we create all sorts of energy around us, and we are perceptive. And so many in my audience are so intuitive and so empathic. We're all so perceptive that I wanted to remind you that everything you feel is not because of you. You haven't done something wrong. When there's somebody in your environment who feels insecure or angry or tense or jealous or whatever that emotion is, as somebody who's in tune with the energy, you will have this tendency to pick up on those vibes, and you'll have this tendency to internalize them because you're responsible emotionally for yourself, and you're responsible for the effect that you have in this world, but it's not always yours. You didn't always do something. Sometimes you're walking into a vibe that existed before you arrived, and it's okay. And so we want to practice not only owning what we've done, which I'm sure we do because we're a very love, peace, and happiness oriented people on this channel. However, everything isn't always our fault, and we have to own that, and we have to allow ourselves to remember that it's not always your fault. It's not always you that is the cause of the vibe that you walk into. What is your fault is your response to that vibe. Are you able to say, you know what, I'm empathic, I apologize, I picked up on the vibe and I internalized it, and I thought it was directed to me, and I realized that, I was not right in this case, and so I apologize for upsetting you, and leave it be as it was, and just own your part and let the rest go. Likewise, in life, there's so many people whose lives we will walk into, being as in tune as we are, who are not receptive to our energy, but we will pick up on their energy. And so it's important to ask, is this mine, and where does this come from, and why am I in this situation? Am I in this situation because it's one of my own creation, or am I in this situation to cover some things over with some love? Am I here to be a blessing from above, or am I here to perpetuate the monotony of what's been going on? And so we create a lot of emotion as we go around, and the more in tune we are, the more we seem to create this emotion in others, because when you're in tune, you create art, you create music, you create poetry, you create love, you create all these awesome things. And so thank you, Lee. Lee is live with me online because obviously y'all don't know, but she's in the UK, and so even though it's the wee hours of the morning here, she says, I'm a blessing from above. But see, it's not always perceived that way, right? And so it's a display of our emotional mastery when we realize that, oh, I walked into something and it's not mine. A lot of times our emotional mastery is in owning that the situation at hand is not really ours. It's not of our making. It's not our creation, and we're not responsible for it. What we are responsible for is our reactions to what we walk into. And so I just wanted to remind you that because you are empathic and you are intuitive, just because you pick up on some emotion doesn't mean that you've done anything wrong. If you walk into some tension, it doesn't mean that it was your fault. And so we want to remember that and be conscious of that, and remember that what we are responsible for is our reactions. We want to leave love, peace, and happiness in our wake. We want to leave a carbon footprint of love, peace, and happiness. And regardless of how the conversation at my last stop of this beautiful night turned out, I know that when I left it in a better place than I found it. And so that's what we're good at. Those who are drawn to this channel, those who are drawn to the words that I have to say, we are love, peace, and happiness oriented, and we leave that in our wake with every step we take. I am going to be uploading to YouTube the open mic that I did tonight. It was so powerful, and the importance of our words, it really lingers because you don't know who really listened. You don't know who took the words you said, personalized them, and memorized them. And tonight I got a good reminder. Tonight was such a broad spectrum of interaction that I was moved to speak about it and the different motions we create, the different emotions that we create. We're so powerful. We're so in tune. We can use our powers whatever way we want. We want to make sure, though, in our choice of how we utilize the powers that we have, the magic inside, the vibe, the words, and the energy that we have, is something that we'll be pleased with if we have to eat the fruit of it as well. So that's the reminder I have for tonight. And I really do wish you love, peace, and happiness, health, wealth, and all the blessings that you deserve, because you are worthy. You are special. You are unique. You who are empathic, you're able to pick up on an energy and transmute it at your choosing. So let's shine the light. It's a beautiful night. There's just this beautiful post light here, and we want to shine so bright. Just like in the night, all you see is this light. When we walk into that room full of tension, we can be the light or we can be more darkness. It's our choosing. So let's make a love, peace, and happiness choice, because that's the energy we are. That's the energy we radiate. That's what makes us feel fantastic. And that's, in the end, what every one of them wants, whether they know it or not, whether they embrace it or not, no matter where they're at and what they're going through. That's what they want. So let's let our love, peace, and happiness shine through. So I'll be back. I'll be doing a reading again tomorrow. My daughter's home, so she'll have the boys, and I will be back to do a reading. And I love you, and I wish you love, peace, and happiness. Until next time.